Have you ever wondered who invented the first game of chance? The answer lies not in the smoke-filled backrooms of medieval taverns, but in the gleaming halls of Mount Olympus itself, where Tyche, the goddess of fortune, first introduced mortals to the thrilling world of gambling. In ancient Greece, where gods walked among mortals and fate intertwined with daily life, Tyche stood as a unique figure among the pantheon. Neither wholly benevolent nor malicious, she embodied the unpredictable nature of fortune itself. With her cornucopia in one hand and a ship's rudder in the other, she guided the destinies of both gods and mortals through the uncertain waters of chance. The story begins in the bustling city-state of Corinth, where Tyche was particularly revered. According to ancient tales, she observed how humans constantly sought ways to glimpse their futures and understand the will of the gods. Some consulted oracles, others read omens in bird flights, but Tyche saw an opportunity to teach mortals a profound lesson about the nature of fate itself. One moonlit night, she appeared to a group of merchants in the Agora of Corinth. These weren't ordinary traders. They were known for their clever minds and endless debates about destiny and free will. Tyche approached them in the form of a mysterious woman, her face partially concealed by a shimmering veil, carrying what appeared to be simple pieces of bone. "You seek to understand the ways of fate," she told them, her voice carrying the weight of divine authority. "Yet you fail to grasp its true nature. Let me show you how fortune truly works." With these words, she revealed the first dice ever created, carved from the knucklebones of a celestial deer that roamed the slopes of Mount Olympus. Tyche taught the merchants the first games of chance, showing how the dice could fall in different ways, each representing a different outcome. She explained that just as in life, players could make choices, but the final result always contained an element of uncertainty. The merchants were captivated, spending the entire night learning various games under her guidance. As word spread throughout Greece, more and more people began crafting their own dice and developing new games. Tyche's invention quickly became more than mere entertainment. It evolved into a mirror of life itself. The Greeks saw in these games a perfect metaphor for human existence, a delicate balance between skill and chance, choice and fate. But Tyche's lesson didn't stop with dice. She gradually introduced other games of chance to the mortals. She taught them to draw lots, inspired the creation of early playing cards, and even suggested the first betting games. Each new game carried its own symbolic meaning, teaching different aspects about fortune's fickle nature. The goddesses' games spread from Greece across the ancient world. In Sparta, soldiers used them to teach strategic thinking. In Athens, philosophers incorporated them into discussions about free will and determinism. Even the oracles of Delphi sometimes used Tyche's dice to provide answers to seekers, believing they carried divine wisdom. However, Tyche's gifts came with a warning. She appeared in dreams to those who became too obsessed with gambling, reminding them that the games were meant to teach wisdom, not feed greed. She cautioned that while chance could bring great fortune, it could just as easily take it away. The wise, she counseled, would understand that life, like her games, required both prudent judgment and acceptance of uncertainty. The influence of Tyche's games extended far beyond ancient Greece. The Romans later adopted her as Fortuna, spreading gambling games throughout their vast empire. From the dice games of Roman legionaries to the elaborate gambling houses of Pompeii, her influence shaped how ancient peoples understood and interacted with chance. Today, whenever someone rolls dice, shuffles cards, or places a bet, they're participating in an activity whose divine origins trace back to Tyche's ancient lesson. Modern casinos, with their promises of fortune and risk, still echo the fundamental truths she sought to teach, that life is a mixture of skill and chance, that fortune favors the bold but humbles the reckless. The story of Tyche and her games reminds us that gambling has always been more than mere entertainment. It represents humanity's eternal dance with chance and fate, our desperate desire to understand the unknowable, and our need to find meaning in the random turns of fortune's wheel. In museums around the world, ancient Greek dice and gaming pieces still survive, silent testimonies to Tyche's enduring influence. These artifacts, some over 2,000 years old, connect us directly to those first nights in Corinth, when a goddess taught mortals to embrace the uncertainty of existence through play. So the next time you see dice being rolled or cards being dealt, remember Tyche, the divine inventor of games of chance. Remember that in teaching humans to gamble, she wasn't just creating entertainment. She was offering a profound lesson about life itself, that while we can't control every outcome, we can learn to face uncertainty with wisdom, grace, and understanding.